As President Biden was signing that bill, he said history will remember this moment. We're going to welcome in CNN's Karen Caifa now. And Karen, what did President Biden mean by that?
Well, Cynthia, he kind of meant that on two fronts, right? First of all, the bipartisan cooperation that ultimately took place in order to push this package of foreign aid across the finish line. And also, and White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan alluded to this afternoon as well, how the world is watching this moment, the world watching to see what the United States of America would do in terms of pushing this aid forward. Of course, this package of bills that went from the House to the Senate, Republican-controlled House, Democratic-controlled Senate here in the United States. This, of course, underscored by President Biden today the bipartisan cooperation that it took to push the bill across the finish line, and of course, what it means for the United States to be sending this aid at this time, Cynthia.
Now, Karen, another interesting aspect of that bill is the potential ban on TikTok. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is something, this foreign aid package was divided into about 4 bills as it made its way through the House of Representatives here in Washington. There were the 3 aid priorities, and then there was also a separate bill that dealt with some Republican priorities. And among them was this so-called TikTok ban. Remember, back in March, the House had passed on a bipartisan basis this ban that moved to potentially ban TikTok in the U.S. This was a little bit different because as that bill was considered by the Senate, there were some misgivings there. So a little bit different this time. It was part of the package that went over to the Senate, and it was part of what President Biden signed today. What it does is gives TikTok about 270 days, or about 9 months, to find a new owner, to really break away from its Chinese parent company ByteDance and find a new owner or risk being removed from app stores here in the United States. That 270 days takes us to about January 19th, 2025, which would be the last full day of the first term of the Biden presidency. There's some flexibility to extend that deadline if it looks like TikTok is acting in good faith. But certainly something that's raising an eyebrow among young voters. The Biden campaign is on TikTok. They said they'll remain there with the appropriate security matters. But of course, TikTok, they say they're going to appeal this. They're going to go through the legal channels. And there are First Amendment lawyers who say they could have a chance because the end product of this could be a censoring of TikTok here in the United States, which they believe could be overcome in the courts, Cynthia.
This is going to be a very interesting one to follow. Karen Caifa from CNN in Washington. Thank you very much.